Hello and welcome back. This is Meyer MAPP 3D assignment number 6. This is for New England School of Communications at Husson University students in the Speaker Systems Design and Optimization course. I believe we are on video number 3 here. We have put in a line array, a hybrid line array in a large venue that we've built. And now we're going to splay that array. We're going to angle it so coverage is consistent from front to back or back to front. If I'm going to go to side view here, I use memory location number 2 here, and you can see by default all the speakers have very small angles and they're all firing forward, and we want to change that and splay it. So a couple things we want to do. First off, do some house cleaning here. Is let's turn off through here on the main seating in the pit so that the lines, the center lines stop at the listening plane. That helps out. Let's also lock the main audience in pits. When we get to predictions, it goes faster. The process goes faster. And speaking of the process, what we're going to try to do here is angle the array and add increasingly larger array angles as we go from the top to the bottom of the array. So small angles will be at the top and large angles will be at the bottom, and they will space the landing points of these center lines evenly as we can from the back of the venue to the front of the venue. And this will make the most consistent frequency response coverage that we can obtain. The other thing we want to do is get our center line, get at least 2 boxes to fire over the top of the audience. We call that overshoot. Meyer calls that aiming factor. And with at least 2 boxes firing over the end of the venue, you will have every seat in the audience covered by at least multiple boxes, at least 2 boxes, and you will have a more consistent frequency response from back to front. All right? So to get into this process of angling, we're going to select the array and go into Express Settings. And I've noticed that there's actually kind of a confusing little line here, another center line coming from the bumper bar. And it seems like once I tweak this one time, I had caught that a moment ago. It was odd that there's a center line coming from that. It's kind of buggy. Let's go. It went away a couple minutes ago. We'll see if it goes away. But we're going to want to start with small angles at the top here. And we have 2 boxes overshooting already. That's the center line from the bumper bar, so ignore that. And start working downward with small angles. You're going to want to keep small angles for a while, these half degree angles. But at some point, you're going to have to start going to progressively larger angles. So I'll start here with 1. And see how that bumper bar, that line went away. And then we'll keep going. We'll stay on 1 for a while. And your initial pass, you can be pretty quick about it. You're going to go back and tweak it a little. Maybe I'll go to 1.5 now, stay on 1.5 for a while. But I need to start getting bigger. And so let's go to 2. And looking back, you can already see I could probably smoosh this just a little bit more, but we'll come back to that. We'll go to 2 to 3 here, and now we're kind of transitioning into the underhang. So we're going to want much larger angles here, so maybe 5. That looks like that could have been a 4. Then we'll go to a 5. We'll go to a 7 here. And getting near the bottom here, box 15 and 16, let's go with a much larger angle. We'll go with 11, and we'll go with 15. And so you kind of look back across your initial work here. And I would recommend you spend more time on this than I'm doing in the video. The video is really for a demonstration of workflow. And my instructions I spent more time on. I would actually read these. These are pretty specific in language, so you might get something out of it that the video is not covering. But it's pretty good. It's a little intense right in there. Like I've kind of jumped to a larger angle. So I think that's... But if I change that, I'm going to change everything. Before I change it, let's do some predictions and see what it looks like. So 4K is a great coverage frequency, so we'll hit predict. Of course, I've locked the seating planes. It goes a little bit faster in prediction. We'll look at that in isometric view. And you can see that at 4K, it is a little light up here. Definitely has kind of a beam in the center of the array, down center. A little light in the pit. We actually want it light in the pit. We can put front fills in there and cover that. Another tool here to really help you out is the section plane view. you can turn this on. It's in this page here, Express Settings, and it puts a right angle section plane here. So when you do a prediction, this time we'll do our prediction at 8K here. When you do your prediction, patience, Eric. You look at it side view, you can actually see where how the array is firing. You can see that it's really these boxes here. Could use a little bit more space in between them. So do some experimentations. By the way, if you want to hide the center plane, it's kind of weird. You turn it off, and then you have to clear the prediction. It doesn't go away until you actually clear it. But you know, you're going to want to do some more tweaking. I'm going to add another box of 1/2 inch, make that angle a little smaller. And then I'm going to transition to 1. And, you know, actually, I kind of like what I did there. So do some more tweaking. You see any other places to tweak? 1, 2, 3, 1, 4, 15, 14, 13, 12. I'm going to add 1 more degree here. And actually, I don't like that. I'm going to, what if I did like a 2.5 there? Yeah. Well, anyway, you play around with it. Try to get it as consistent as possible and compare your predictions at 4 and 8K and see how they look. As the instructions here, these are my initial, at least in the instructions, I use slightly different angles than I did here in the video. But you could see that it was a little dark there at distance, a little bright up close. And we're going to use some, we're going to mess with the processor in a few minutes and actually improve this. But much as you can do with physical angling beforehand really will help. Here's my 4K. Here's my 8K. And then I started tweaking it, and I did some tweaking. And yes, I did look at section plane and a view. And I ended up pulling my initial build. I had the underhang really firing at the pit. I also decided that I didn't want that much HF firing into the pit because I wanted to cover that with front fills so I wouldn't have to splash this stuff on stage, the high end on stage as much. So I kind of angled this upward. In the end, I did, you know, after some tweaking, I got 4K to improve a little bit. And I got 8K to improve a little bit. So please do that. And when you're happy with your angling, put yourself here on side view, left side view here. And do a screenshot of the entire page. What is that? Command-Shift-5 on a Mac. And so make sure you're capturing the whole entire screen so I can see everything. And capture that. And then name that. This is going to be for your submission here. House left array angling, your last name, your first name. So name that screenshot and set that aside. And then when you're ready, save as a new version. And I want to, I seem to be in a different folder now during map videos. So this is actually going to be, I'm going to save it as 04 now. Okay, I hope that helps out. Catch you on the next video. Bye-bye.